Have you ever been in a situation where after a photo shoot taken by you or others, you find out that the photos are absolutely unusable? This is something we have all seen as photographers or as clients. As I've had to save countless of pictures through my years of photography, I have found some solutions for photos that would be in regular situations thrown away. So here are some common problems we are going to be talking about today. Firstly, overexposed photos. These are usually not really savable through regular editing and they are really hard to work with overall. Secondly, blurry model and eyes. This commonly happens when shutter speed is too low or I'm being just too shaky with my camera. The third one would be bad subject positioning on the photo. This is just really common for beginner photographers to put their model or their subject on the edge of a photo, and we can still work with these images. The fourth would be the model just wasn't in a really good position, and we're trying to fix that. Fifth one is harsh midday sun, and we all know this is really hard to work with at some times, and we're gonna find some solutions that will make the editing easier for us. And the last one would be overall we have a good photo, but the face of the model just doesn't work. So we're trying to find out how we can still use the photo and not just throw it away, but take maybe bits of it so we can still use it for our work. Oftentimes with these kind of things, we can't edit those photos in a regular way. We got to tackle this in a different manner. So let's dive right in and see what we can do here. Okay, overexposed photos and harsh midday sun. As you all know, this kind of film look is really popular right now, and this is one of the solutions we can work with when we are editing those overexposed photos. And firstly, I'm going to open my Lightroom. I have this really overexposed photo here. It's not the worst, but it's definitely one of these images I cannot edit with my regular editing practices. I think I'm going to use some creative presets on these and see how this will work. I thought about using my Yogi tree preset, and I can see it gets really dark, but it's okay. We don't want the sky to be overexposed here. So I'm just gonna bring up the exposure, and I can already see it looks so much better. Although the grass isn't green as it would be in natural setting, it's okay because when I'm editing this with more creativity and making it like a piece of art, then I feel it's kind of okay to have these tweaks to it. If I try to get the yellow up a bit, then I think it looks a bit weird, so I'm gonna take it down. And here I'm just gonna put some masking on it, so I will be making this dark area a bit brighter, like this maybe, and just crop in a little bit more, like this. So that already looks pretty nice, and maybe I'll add one more mask here, like so, onto our subject. Maybe some contrast, and I really like how these areas are showing a bit light through, so maybe I will add just a bit more light to this side, and maybe here. All right, and here we have this really overexposed sky. We could change it a bit with using AI, but right now I'm just gonna take this mask here and make it just a bit darker. So I will add just a bit more contrast. Now I see the oranges are going up, and I will take them down like so. So I think you can really make things work if you have this kind of overexposed image with some creative presets or edits that you have. And if you add some grain to it, you can make it look more filmy, and it really looks great on this kind of overexposed images. For my next photo, I have this one with really harsh daylight sun. Luckily, I had some shadows on my face, and this is what I would really recommend you to have as well if you plan to shoot during daytime. But if that's not possible, then of course you can try the same editing tricks to make your photos work. So for this particular photo, I can see that after editing it, it still looks not too good. It's just too bright and dark, and I can see it just doesn't work too well. What I can do here, and I've used it a lot, is opening up effects panel on Lightroom, and here I can find this clarity and also the haze tools. And if I just pull this clarity down a bit, I can already see that it really softens up this photo, and maybe add some dehaze to it, or actually take down around -50 even, and I can already see this photo looks so much better. And this will give my photos this filmy vibe again that is really popular right now, and you can use it for these kind of harsh daylight photos really good. So this works great, and if I want I can also add some grain, and again it works really well. So this would be my result for this photo. So as a conclusion for this topic of overexposed photos, we can oftentimes save these photos using creative editing or filmy look. And also, if you see that creative edits do not work, you can make them black and white, and this is a good hack as well. As a photographer, this has saved me a lot of times. Secondly, blurry model and eyes. One of the things that is really trendy right now is making your photos look like they are extra blurry or have this movement effect to them. And when you have this photo that is already blurry, kind of like messed up, or your model's eye is not in the focus, then you can maybe try to make this photo blurry and make it look like it's intentional. In Photoshop, we have 3 tools we can use to make this kind of edit, and I'm just gonna briefly show you how these look like. Now I opened up Photoshop and I'm gonna show you how we can do these things. Here I have this really active photo. This particular photo isn't actually blurry, but it's okay, you can work with any kind of photos you have. And the first tool that we're gonna use is motion blur tool. You can find it from filter panel, and you go to blur and motion blur. Now this will make your photo look like it has a lot of movement to it, and from here you can select the intensity of your motion blur as well. So maybe I'm just gonna put it like so, and from here I can choose the angle of my motion blur, so try to match it to your movement direction. I will maybe put this a little bit less so I can still see my model, and now it looks pretty fun. And the next one would be also from blur tab, but we're gonna choose radial blur. So from here we have 2 different kind of blur options. One would be spin and one would be zoom. These are also quite popular these days. They make your photo look quite fun. So you can add this extra movement and energy to your photo. Let's try this spin effect. Try to position this little dot here onto your subject, so this area would be the sharpest. And I think my model is somewhere here, so I'm going to put this here, and you can also choose the harshness. So this one is quite intense, this spin effect, so I will go down to like 5 this time, and let's try it out. And it looks like this. I think it looks quite fun. So this, again, one of the things you can do with your blurry images. I'm just gonna delete now this one, and let's try also the zoom radial blur. I'm going up to maybe 7, and yes. So you can use this effect to save the day when your photos are out of focus or a bit blurry in the wrong way. The next one would be bad positioning of your model or a subject. So you can see I have this photo here, and the model is really sitting in the corner of the photo. In this case, we're gonna use some AI to make this photo attractive again. I see a lot of beginner photographers make this mistake where they frame their subject or model way too close to the edge, and they also use these photos, and this makes the photo look way less attractive. So here we are gonna use some AI to fix this and make this look beautiful. Here I have my model sitting in the corner. This is me, and I'm just gonna select this crop tool from here and make this photo a bit larger. Maybe I will choose Instagram size from here so I get the right size. For this photo, I'm just gonna position myself in front of the image like this. And now we have these edges here, and we can just use this selection tool like this, and with shift also this one. And with right click I will choose generative fill, and I don't need a prompt if I'm just gonna fill the sides. And now we gotta wait. Also you need internet to use AI. Maybe you have used it, but it's a good tool to reposition your model or a subject and make the photo attractive. And this works in so many situations. I even had this photo shoot for a big sports care company where I positioned my model's leg out of the frame. And later I found out that the sneaker on this photo was really important to show. And thanks to AI, I actually got to recreate this sneaker and no one really noticed. So you can really use this tool to make the positioning correct again. Now AI gave me this selection. It's not the best, so I can choose from here. The second option would be this one, and the third option would be this one. So I think from these ones here, this is my favorite. So I'm just gonna put this together, merging layers, and now I can do some cleaning up or other editing I wanna do with this photo, but I can already see it looks so much better, and now this photo is really usable. The fourth one would be the model wasn't in a great position. So it can happen that the model is maybe a bit too relaxed on the photo or is tense and have their shoulders up. Sometimes we think that we cannot use these photos, but we can still work it out in many occasions. And let's see how we can do that. Here this situation is not too extreme and we can easily make this photo work. And to change people's posture or body position, we can use this tool called Liquify. And we find it under the filter again, and I'm just gonna open up the Liquify tool here. From here I can select this forward warp tool that is like the easiest or simplest tool here, and I'm gonna change the size to around this one. And here he has this a bit of hunch in his back, so I'm gonna pull this one in and just gonna fix the posture here. And we can already see it looks so much better, and we can oftentimes make photos even better using this tool. And we can already see this photo looks so much more pleasing to the eye. We just have to fix this little tree here, and also maybe I will use some other tool to fix this area here. And for her I can see that we have a little double chin situation going on, so I'm just gonna bring this up a bit, and this works great. Now I have this area here and I can easily remove it with spot healing brush tool. So here I have another photo. It looks again really good, but from here I can see that my back is really like curved, and it's really easy fix. How I can make this photo look a bit more pleasing, I will just pull this area in a bit and maybe take this curve off from here, like so. And it already looks so much better. It looks natural and looks good. Even if our model is in a really bad position, we can oftentimes, using this tool, still fix this. The last one would be that overall we have a really great photo, but maybe the model's face wasn't too good or they have their eyes closed. And on these kind of occasions, I'm oftentimes using this magical tool called crop. I have this photo here that is quite nice, but you can see that my face is kind of out of focus, so it isn't the best one. It should have maybe a bigger aperture, but what we can do here is we can maybe crop out some part of this photo that still looks great. So I'm gonna take this crop tool from here and I'm just gonna select this from here. So we got this Instagram size file, and select this area here that looks good for us. Make it a bit smaller. Could be like this. Yes, I think this looks pretty good. We could still mask it a bit to make this look more natural. Maybe like so, and make this area a bit brighter. So oftentimes cropping out this little fracture enhances my gallery and helps to set the mood. So in conclusion, if I have this really good shot in my hands and something about it isn't just quite right, I can just crop it out and make the rest of the photo still work for me. I feel like almost everything these days is really usable. You just have to use creative ways and tools to figure things out. I really hope these tips help you make magic out of your unusable photos, and also let me know which kind of situations you have been in or which kind of mistakes you can see in your photos, so we can work this out together. See you in the next video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe and like, and let me know what you want to see next.